cricket team against South Africa in that one-off test match in Chennai on an absolute belter. The India women's cricket team have become the first nation in the history of women's tests to go past 600. 606 for 4, beating the previous mark of 575 for 9 that was set by Australia, incidentally against South Africa. But now, Richa Ghosh and all would have rued the chance to miss out on a century. I mean, she was on 86, she was batting brilliantly. Harmanpreet Kaur, can you believe it, notched up her maiden 50. But yet, she did not manage to capitalize. And when Richa Ghosh got out, 606 for 4 declared. And because of that, India are in pole position, having taken 4 wickets. Sneh Rana taking 3 wickets. Deepti Sharma taking 1. Marizan Kapp, she could have gotten out, but unfortunately of Sneh Rana, Richa Ghosh dropped the catch. And that is why India will be slightly better. I mean, yes, South Africa is still way behind with 2 more days to go. Yeah. But it's advantage India.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always team before individuals, and that's why I think India wanted to make sure that they get those useful runs towards the opening session of the day 2 when they managed to get past 600, which is actually a tremendous achievement for India women's cricket team and even women's cricket in general. But then you look at things from the bowling perspective, the pacers could not really get those crucial wickets. The ball wasn't really doing too much, and there is no wear and tear on the Chepauk pitch. But there's one thing I think the South Africa women players would have to be wary of, and it's the inconsistent bounce that the pitch is showing a bit. And that's where I think Sneh Rana, some of her deliveries that South Africa women were expecting to turn, but they did not. And there was some steep or maybe some invariable bounce also. So I think from that way, I think it's all pretty good for India. They wanted to make sure that they bat once and bat big there. They have done that. Day 3 is going to be crucial for South Africa because they'll not just be looking to make sure that they avoid the follow-on, but it's also going to be the case of can they really up the scoring rate and try push India to the limit to maybe just go for an unlikely win.
Because see, 2 days are done and looking at it, you've seen only not more than 10 wickets fall in the entire test match even after 2 days. I mean, if you only had these kind of belters in the Border Gavaskar Trophy of 2023, who knows what would have happened. So, you look at the pitch that is there. Ahmedabad. But that was a dead as a dodo wicket. So that is why this, you look at Sneh Rana, she's giving the rip that is there to the ball. So it's coming back in and South Africa's batters are struggling a bit. Kapp though has shown her class. Marizan Kapp with a brilliant 50 that she has hit. So that is why if you look at it, the India women's team still hold the edge. But if they have to win, they have to bowl South Africa out by the second session tomorrow and try and enforce the follow-on. Because then taking wickets, I think, in this M.A. Chidambaram Stadium seems to be a bit of a task. Sneh Rana will have to bowl and bowl and bowl. But I'm surprised Deepti Sharma has not gotten that much of purchase because she also looked threatening. So that is why it's a big situation that the India women's team is facing. So if you look at the broader context, India, South Africa today, the women's team have done their job. But the men's team will have to do a bit more. And see, it continues. South African women's cricket team rather bad run. They were hammered in Australia. Now in the ODI series, they were hammered 3-0. Now they have been facing a brunt of it in the test match. So
I think in case of South Africa also, it's not just about saving this test or maybe just going for an unlikely win by upping the scoring rate, but I think it's also the case of saving face. Remember what happened in the one-day series. India were comprehensive as they whitewashed them 3-0, and that's what
except
I think
for one match.
Yeah, except for one match. But I think overall, that I think India won by 4 or 5 runs.
Yeah.
In which they scored 320 odd.
2 centuries from Harmanpreet and Smriti Mandhana. South Africa could have chased it down with Laura Woolward doing very well, but unfortunately they just choked at the last end. So that's why the India women's team have been dominant. Now it is the turn of the men in Barbados in the next couple of hours to ensure that they get the best result possible. So best, please, you look at which app or channel. See, there is broadcast being done and you have to just check that out. They are doing it. It's not on the host broadcasters that's telecasting the T20 World Cup. It's happening in some other channel. You can check it out. So that's about it when we look at the India women's team on day 2. Still dominant in pole position, but they have to really take wickets quickly because the pitch is still flat. If they can bowl South Africa out in the second session tomorrow, they can go for a win also.
Yeah, quick prediction. What do you think about day 3?
I think the ball is starting to turn and Sneh Rana is getting tremendous amount of turn. So that's why I would say India do hold the edge. I think India are winning this or it's a draw. I don't see a South Africa win here because overhauling 600 and then ensuring that they bowl India out cheaply, it will take too much time, and the time is the only thing that we don't have in this match.
And I expect Sneha Rana and Deepti Sharma to run through South Africa's batting order, which means that South Africa might just bat second tomorrow itself.
Of course.
India might enforce the follow-on.
They will enforce the follow-on. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis, and don't forget to download the Sports Talk mobile app for all the information you need in English and Hindi. Bye-bye.